الله صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أولم يعلموا أن الله يبسط الرزق لمن يشاء ويقدر إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يؤمنون. قل لعبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. وأنيبوا إلى ربكم وأسلموا له من قبل أن يأتيكم العذاب وأسلموا له من قبل أن يأتيكم العذاب ثم لا تنصرون. واتبعوا أحسن ما أنزل إليكم من ربكم من قبل أن يأتيكم العذاب من قبل أن يأتيكم العذاب بغتة وأنتم تشعرون صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على رسول الله وآله الأطهار، على رسول الله وآله الأطهار. صلوات.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone to the Youth of Wisdom, Dar al-Hikmah. Today is the night of the 29th. Well, the night of the 28th. Today was the 27th. MashaAllah, Ramadan has been flying by. Inshallah, we have only 2 more nights, with Friday, inshallah, being Eid, unless one of the beloved scholars decides to delay it again. First and foremost, the programs will be continuing until Thursday night, which we will be having our A'mal Laylat al-Eid. We are excited to see you guys here, inshallah. Inshallah, everyone has benefited from the programs that we've been having the last 28 nights. And tonight we have a very special program with 3 of our beloved youth speakers. First and foremost, we will start by introducing our beloved brother Rayyan with 3 of your loudest salawats.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I begin in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the especially merciful. Today, me and 2 other of our youth speakers were asked to talk about some lessons, opportunities, and challenges for our youth here during the blessed month of Ramadan. One thing that I'd like to point out is a challenge within our community that I think that we really should pay attention to. Is that we do get excited for the month of Ramadan as it comes. We do end up spending our time at the masjids, attending lectures, and hearing our blessed scholars speak to us. Some of us even take notes. We're excited to come and see our friends and learn from the people that we look up to and admire. However, what I do notice, although we're extremely excited for the 3 great nights of power, our worship and us staying up at night remembering Allah tends to dwindle off, especially after the 23rd. And one of the greatest challenges we have, unfortunately, is separating our culture and separating that social aspect of Ramadan from what we should be doing as Muslims. We should not be sleeping away the day to stave off the hunger and the tiredness that we feel from our fasts. We're kind of missing the point. Yes, of course, it's good to take a nap, especially so that we stay awake during the A'mal of Ramadan, and we stay awake during our lectures so that we get the most out of our nights. But unfortunately, even amongst the youngest of our youth are spending time watching TV and eating and talking and staying up late instead of learning the Quran and reading, reciting, or at least if we stay up with our friends and family, making sure that we discuss Allah. That's, I think, one of the biggest challenges in our community during the month of Ramadan. So I encourage those who are not coming to the mosque the last few nights to come to the mosque. And I encourage them that if you are spending time with your family and friends and not at the mosque, at least discuss Allah. read Quran, talk about why you love Allah, talk about why our existence is so miraculous, and ponder over it. Another great challenge that I think that we should pay attention to is not only increasing our worship through the end of Ramadan, but also making sure that we stay together as a community. So as I read from Surah As-Saf, I want us to ponder over it. I'm going to read the first four surahs, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why it hits me so greatly this Ramadan. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. سبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لما تقولون ما لا تفعلون كبر مقتا عند الله أن تقولوا ما لا تفعلون إن الله يحب الذين يقاتلون في سبيله صفا كأنهم بنيان مرصوص. For those who don't understand Arabic, it says, whatever in the heavens and whatever in the earth exalts Allah, and He is the exalted in might, the wise. O you who believed, why do you say that which you do not do? Great and hatred in the sight of Allah is that you say that you do not do. Indeed, Allah loves those who fight in His cause in a row, like they are a single structure joint firmly. The reason this hit me so hard this Ramadan is because I think another opportunity we have in our congregations, in our youth, this Ramadan and every year, is that we have youth that are so willing and so excited to come to the mosques, to be joined in things like here, the Youth of Wisdom, the youth committee that we have here at Dar al-Hikmah. We have people who are excited to learn about the religion, excited to see their friends, see their family, and be involved within the community. However, we tend to make promises and say things that we believe about ourselves, yet that we do not do. And this is a warning from Allah that we really should keep our word, and when we say things, we should mean them, and we should follow through on them to the best of our ability. So that when we say, yes, I'll be there, inshallah, that we don't mean, inshallah, yeah, sure, whatever. But we say, inshallah, yeah, I'm going to do the best to my ability, and the only thing that is going to stop me from getting there is the qadr of Allah. In the very next part, ayah 4, Allah loves those who fight in His cause in a row as though they are a single structure joint firmly. One of the greatest opportunities we have in this community, and one of the greatest challenges, is that we do have people who are so ready to serve. We do have people who are excited and are curious, and their imagination runs wild with ideas how we can improve our community. But we don't act as though we're a single structure joint firmly. We tend to cause divisions in our community rather than bringing people together, and we look for faults in others rather than trying to bring out the best in people. And although there is good advice that we should be a mirror for our brothers and sisters in faith, meaning that we should tell them what they do wrong so that they might do better, and that we bring out the best in them, unfortunately, we are a little toxic when we do that. So I urge everybody to think as if we are in this struggle all together, not just individually. That every time we bring somebody else up in our faith and we encourage them to do good, that we should be happy about it and we should like to see people succeed. And I think this is one of the greatest lessons we should take during this month of Ramadan, that every year our Ramadan should be different and our Ramadan should be better, that it should not wane in our worship and our enthusiasm for our ability and our gift of living another year, so that we can not only acquire more deeds, more good deeds, but that we actually have the opportunity to help others and push our religion further and inspire our brothers and sisters in faith to do better. It's not that we're greedy and we think that the more good deeds we do, that we can earn our way into Jannah. We should feel more that we love Allah for giving us another day to do something good and worship Him and purify ourselves. These are the opportunities and challenges in our community that I think we really should pay attention to. However, although I did talk a lot about our challenges and opportunities, I did want to say that it is wonderful to be in a community that has been dubbed a sleeping giant from our brother Hajj Hassanan, who spoke here at Dar al-Hikmah most of the month of Ramadan. Before I end and allow our next speaker to take the podium, I just wanted to give a little bit of background, hopefully that might inspire some of the people from this community who are listening. I come from another state, and I did not have the opportunity to attend a Shia Islamic center that had classes for most of my life. Whatever I learned came from my parents, who worked extremely hard to make sure that I did not go a day without being hungry or a day without paying something such as our medical bills. And I'm very grateful for that, and I'd like to honor my parents through this message. However, because of that, I wanted something a little bit more. And so I did my own research and found that this community, mashallah, has so many youth programs, so many mosques in such a small area, the ability to eat halal every day and every night without worry, going to the grocery store and not having to ask myself if this is healthy or this is good for me or not. And it was also much easier to find very good brothers and sisters in faith. Even today, a good friend of mine that I met a year ago and his wife are here in attendance, and I really appreciate it, as well as some of the other brothers and sisters that I have come to know. So I left, living near my parents and spending time with them to come here for the sake of learning the religion and being part of the community. And once I came here, I realized just how the sleeping giant we are, as Hajj Hassanan said, and I want people to understand that when we read the Quran and we see the ayat, unfortunately, most of us skip over these wonderful signs from Allah. We skip over them as if they were emeralds looking like glass. And if we only picked them up and stared at them long enough, we would see the nur of Allah reflect within them enough that we realize that there are many depths and facets to what we're looking at in the Quran. So I encourage everyone, don't take what you have for granted. Spend just a little extra time in worship and a little extra time with your friends and family, and appreciate the time that you've been given, and strive in the way of Allah like He deserves to be struggled for. Think of us as an entire community joint firmly struggling for the cause of Allah in a single row, just like we are in prayer. Take the lessons we learn from prayer and how we pray in congregation, in synchronicity, and take it into our everyday lives. Thank you very much for Dar al-Hikmah and the other esteemed speakers for allowing me to speak tonight. I would like to welcome our next speaker with a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Can we get another loud salawat for Brother Rayyan, please? A beautiful point Brother Rayyan said was, a lot of people make the confusion and make the mistake thinking that Ramadan is only 23 days, when it's a lot more than that. It's 30 days, sometimes 29. So we must take in the importance of the nights before Eid al-Fitr. Most importantly, the night before Eid al-Fitr, there's a lot of A'mal al-Eid. So this Thursday, we'll be having Dua Kumail with our Sheikh, as well as A'mal al-Eid, inshallah. We also have Salat al-Eid, which will be Friday, inshallah, with Sheikh Muhammad Ilahi, as well as a double feature, because it will be a Friday. We will have Salat al-Eid as well as Salat Jama'ah. So inshallah, I will see everyone in the upcoming nights and Salat Jama'ah. Finally, April 30th, we will be having our Eid al-Fitr festival here at Islamic House of Wisdom. So bring your families. There will be a lot of fun stuff to do, such as petting zoos, as well as jump houses and everything for the family to have fun. Finally, I would like to introduce our beloved speaker, Brother Muhammad Saleh. He came all the way from Florida and is a wonder of the youth. So introduce him with 3 of your loudest salawat.
Teachings that have been passed down to us from the Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam during these few moments that I have with you. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما هذه الحياة الدنيا إلا لهو ولعب وأن الدار الآخرة لهي الحيوان لو كانوا يعلمون عطروا أفواهكم بذكر الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. The average human being spends around 40% of his life sleeping. Another 20% of his life is spent at school, at work, commuting. Another 15% of your life is spent on the screen, TV shows, on social media. Another 15% is spent on household chores, eating, preparing for food, cooking, and so on and so forth. You're only left with, if you live the average age of around 75 years, you're only left with 8 years. Our akhirah, the afterlife, which is not millions of years, nor billions of years, forever, eternity, it depends on these few years we have in this world. These few years that we have will determine your state, your condition, the place that you will have for yourself in the afterlife. It all depends on these few years that we have in this world. And we only have one try at it, one shot to prepare for the afterlife. We've come into this world, we realize one thing: the human body, its design, its intricacy. Every single day, the human heart, which is the size of a closed fist, pumps around 2,000 gallons of blood a day, with over 100,000 pumps. For every footstep that you take, your body requires around 200 muscles for you to be able to take that footstep forward. If you connect all of the blood vessels in our body, veins, arteries, you connect them all together, it equates to a distance of nearly 60,000 miles that can wrap around the earth more than 2 times, all packaged in one single human body. The human body has been designed in such a way, the complexity, the design, but for what? Is it for us to live a life hoping to get more likes on social media? Or for like that person who was interviewed and was asked, what's the goal of life? What's your goal in life? And he said, to win an Oscars award. Is that justice to ourselves? with these few years that we have, which will have a permanent effect on your afterlife forever. Or with the intricate, complex design of a body that Allah has given us, to base it on these trivial matters, basing our entire life to win an Oscars award or to get more fame on social media or amongst one's friends? Or is there something greater than that? Every single one of us has 3 companions. Every single one of us has 3 friends with different levels of loyalty. The first friend will be with you as long as you're alive. The moment you pass away, he will step aside and say you're on your own. Your second companion is a little bit more loyal. He will be with you until you are taken to the graveyard. And once the funeral is over, he will also step away and tell you you are on your own. Life has to continue. And the third friend is more loyal than the others. He will be with you even when you are put into your grave. He will not part ways with you. He is more loyal than the others. The first friend is your money. Money can only benefit you as long as you're alive. As long as you're breathing, you're awake, you're alive, money can benefit you. Your car, your clothes, your house can benefit you as long as you're alive. But the minute you pass away, it can no longer benefit you or harm you. The second companion is your family and friends. Your family and friends will only be with you until you are taken to the graveyard. And once the funeral is over, they're all going to go back home, they're going to go back to school, they're going to go back to work, life is going to continue, and you're on your own. And the third companion is your deeds, good or bad. They will be with you even when you are put into your grave. If they are good deeds, they will bring comfort to you. They will light up your grave. If they are bad deeds, they will be a burden on you. They will prolong your questioning on the day of judgment. They will make your questioning more difficult, more painful. Everything in this world will perish except your deeds. Except those pages of deeds that you recorded while you were in this world, your actions, your words, your decisions that you made, those will remain. In your book of deeds, that is what will remain. Everything else will perish. Now, good deeds come in ranging levels of rewards. Different good deeds have different rewards associated with them. For example, every look of mercy that you glance at your parents, for every single look, Allah gives you the reward of an accepted Hajj. Or for example, every single jama'ah salat, a group prayer that you pray with only just 2 people, meaning a leader and a follower, your salat gets multiplied by 300. Meaning, if I were to pray alone, it would take me 300 times to pray in order to get that reward of a group prayer when there's only 2 people. Imagine how it is when there's 10 people plus. So different good deeds have different rewards prepared for them. But by far, the weightiest and heaviest deed to be placed in your scale on the day of judgment is what? Is husn al-khulq, good akhlaq. That will be the heaviest deed to be placed in your scale on the day of judgment. There were over 124,000 prophets that walked this earth. And the final and the greatest messenger of all, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, summarized his entire mission, why he was sent a prophet, in one sentence. The greatest messenger of all, 124,000 prophets, the final messenger, summarized the reason why he was sent as a prophet with one sentence. إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. The only reason why I was sent to you all, to humanity, was to help you perfect your character. That's the only reason why he was sent, to perfect our character, our morals, our akhlaq. The weightiest deed to be placed on our scales on the Day of Judgment is good ethics, good akhlaq. And the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a hadith says, أَقْرَبُكُم مِّنِّي مَجْلِسًا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَحْسَنُكُمْ خُلُقًا وَخَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ. Those who will be closest to me on the Day of Judgment, with me, with the Ahlul Bayt, with the Prophet, are those with the greatest of ethics. In another hadith from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ما من شيء أثقل في الميزان من حسن الخلق. The heaviest item to be placed on your scale of deeds is good character. What is good character like? What is good akhlaq like? One day the Holy Prophet ﷺ was sitting in the masjid, and a beggar came. A poor person came telling the Holy Prophet, host me, feed me, I'm hungry. The Holy Prophet told him, I do not have any food. Yes, the Holy Prophet would go days without food. بِأَبِي هُوَ وَأُمِّي. So he told the man, I don't have any food. He announced in the masjid, asking, who is willing to host this person? Who's willing to feed him? Out of all who were sitting, Imam Ali alayhi salam was the first to answer the call of the Prophet and said, Ya Rasulullah, I am willing to host him. I am willing to feed him. He will be my guest. So the Prophet sent him with Imam Ali to their house. When they arrived to the house, Imam Ali told his wife, Sayyidah Fatima alayhi salam, do we have any food to give him? She responded, we only have just barely enough for Al-Hasan wal-Hussein. Our two young children, we only have just barely for them. Imam Ali told her, let them go to sleep early, put them to sleep, and we will offer this leftover food for our guest. So Imam Ali went and prepared the table. He prepared 2 plates, one for his guest, one for himself. He put the only food that they had, which was just barely for Al-Hasan wal-Hussein, who were young children at that time. He put that food on the guest's plate and left his plate empty because there was no food. He dimmed down the lights so that the guest wouldn't know that all of the food was given to the guest while Imam Ali didn't have any for himself. So he dimmed down the light so the guest wouldn't notice. They sat on the table. The guest was eating, and Imam Ali acted as if he was eating, making sounds of chewing, sounds of biting, to give the impression to his guest that he also had food. And he wasn't putting himself under difficulty just to show hospitality to the guest. Imam Ali slept that night hungry. The family slept that night hungry. And the guest didn't know. The guest was under the impression that they had food for themselves as well. Little acts like this don't go unnoticed. Every single deed we do is all recorded. Allah is watching. This is the meaning of akhlaq. When you prefer for others what you would prefer for yourself. When you would sacrifice for others for the sake of Allah. The heaviest deed that will be placed on our scale of deeds on the Day of Judgment is good deeds. Nothing will go unnoticed. When we are presented our book of deeds, we will say, ما لهذا الكتاب لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها ووجدوا ما عملوا حاضرا. Every single deed we do, every single word, every single glance, it's all recorded. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the success, the tawfiq, to be amongst those whose book of deeds, when it's given back to them, it's filled with good deeds. It's filled with akhlaq, following into the footsteps of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, our imams, our role models who dedicated their entire life for our goodness. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the reappearance of our awaited Imam, Al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan. Allahumma kun li waliyik Al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan. صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. I thank you all for your time, for allowing me to be part of this discussion with you all. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.
It reminds me of a very popular hadith in which we all will encounter the grave one day. It will either be like a tight squeeze or a welcome home hug. So we ask Allah, inshallah, that we all get a warm hug and not a tight squeeze. Next, I would love to introduce the founder of the Elite Alpha Movement podcast with 3 of your loudest salawat, Brother Yusuf.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. My name is Yusuf Baidoun. Before I start this speech, can we please recite the beautiful Fatiha for the beautiful month, the beautiful Shahr Ramadan? After that, Salat ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. What a beautiful night we had. What a beautiful Shahr Ramadan everybody had. I'm pretty sure everybody had a beautiful Shahr Ramadan. I see it in everybody's faces, the light, the smiles. I'm happy everybody's here. I'm happy the brothers got a chance to share their experiences. Very great job. But I want everybody to bear with me for 1 second. In this room right now, everybody's sitting down. And all our loved ones that have passed away, they're here right now in this beautiful month. They're all watching us, seeing what we did, what we say, how we broke our fast, how we donated, how we helped, how we took the initiative to help somebody and take the chance to share something with somebody that means something to them. Everybody here right now, if you're going through a hardship, going through a stressful time, going through a mental breakdown, going through something you think it's not going to go through or something that's hard on you, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're going through something. I'll raise my hand. Nothing to be ashamed of. If you look around the room, you got people raising their hands. And we sit there in the dark times and we say, oh, I'm the only one going through a hardship, or I'm the only one going through a struggle, or I'm the only one doing this type of depression, or I have to go see a therapist, I got to go see a psychiatrist, I got to listen to motivational speaking all the time just to get my happy and my productivity and my dopamine intake, if you want to consider that. But on the second, look right or left to you. And those are your brothers and sisters. And I want you to shake their hand, males, females. Tell them everything's going to be okay. Tell them everything's going to be okay. I don't got anybody on my right and left, so I'm going to shake my hand. I'm going to tell myself it's going to be okay because it has to. That's just being a believer. It has to be okay. It is going to be okay. Everything will pass. Time passes. People pass. Jobs pass, money passes. Our life passes us by sometimes. We're in this deep, dark night that's called depression. And alhamdulillah, I had the chance to work with 42 people that are prevented from suicide. I stopped over 117 depression cases, people from going into depression. Now, do you see how you guys just got involved with that little thing, putting your hand up and shaking somebody's hand and letting somebody know you're doing okay, you're going to be okay? That right there is that little ego check we have. You lowered your sense of security just a little bit. Just a little bit, you lowered your little sense of security inside. And without you even knowing, that's all the motivation you need to go seek help, to go listen to something that brings you peace and calmness, to go really try to get help for yourself mentally, because I feel like in our community here in Dearborn, now I can't speak for other communities because I haven't been there, I haven't spoke there, but I'm going to speak about my hometown, Dearborn. And I feel like we have a problem, and that problem being for men. I'm not a female, I can't talk about the female urge and how they progress their emotions, but I'll try to get close to it. But us men, we like to sit, if you envision a water bottle, we like to keep filling our emotions with more water, the water being emotions and problems and struggles. We like pouring more and more and more and more and more water till one day that water is going to overflow. And then you're going to have a breakdown. You're going to pause in life. You're going to get tired. You're not going to want to be here no more. You're going to find the excuse to not be here because you know you can. You're supposed to be here. You know, if you wake up every day and you think about like a control board of buttons, a whole bunch of buttons, you know, and you think about Allah being up there. Allah's pressing your button for a reason. Everybody has a purpose to waking up. There's not anybody that hasn't woken up for no reason at all. One of the richest places in the world is every graveyard we have. Every graveyard in the world is the richest place. Why? Why would the graveyard be the richest place? Is it the coffins? Is it the marble stones they put? It's for all the inventions, all the thoughts, all the things they could have did. All the things they could have did to help somebody. Buy a mosque and make a mosque. Buy a place of worship. Buy a school. You know, it's people invent something, right? And then they forget that they don't want to act on it. They get afraid to act on it because of the chatter. And that chatter is you. That's the point of depression. It's you versus you 100% of the time, every day. That's the battle. The battle's not between me and him, me and you, me and you. No. It's me and me every day because I got to look in the mirror with myself. I got to live with myself. You don't got to live with me every time I wake up and look in the mirror. I got to wake up with Yusuf, and Yusuf has to check on Yusuf and let Yusuf know that, hey, we gotta push on through. Regardless of the pain and regardless of the struggles, regardless of being a man, and we got to hold our emotions in, and we got to sit there, and we got to be this steel idol. We can't cry, and we can't get angry. We can't go tell somebody how we feel, and we can't tell somebody that we need help, and we can't. It's simple. If you look at life and how Allah paved our life and gave us the chance to wake up, is you open that water bottle, you take the cap off, and you never put that cap back on until you know you're 100% satisfied with who you are, because you're not going to allow anything else in, being negative, being positive. If you want to keep on putting more water, being negative things, that's you. That's something you grew up to like. I mean, you're not supposed to like negative. 95% of our thoughts are negative. I just got a negative thought right now. What about if I stutter? What about if I did stutter? It's something I can work on, something I could progress in, something I can take a chance to at least get better and excel in. You don't got to be perfect. If you wanted to be perfect, you would have been an angel. Myself, yourself, everybody watching, everybody around the world had a choice before they even got to earth. And that was Allah telling you, do you want to be an angel, or do you want to try this new experiment I have called being a human, having a conscience? Having a choice, having something, having that constant negative talk, having those tests. And then, hey, but look, we're all here, so I guess that means that we all took the choice of being a human. It's being an angel is being commanded. Being a human means you have a conscience and you have a sense of choice. You know, and luckily with us, we have the devil that tells us all the time, like, hey, you should do the bad thing. You know, why not? Make the fast money. Why not? Why not go get the fast car? Why not get on a motorcycle and go and keep driving like crazy? You know, Allah yarhamu, the brother that just passed away. I mean, what's the point? If you think about the points of life and you touch bases with them on and on, and you say, well, I'm going to mental check myself every day. That's hard. That's going to be hard on somebody to sit there and actually work on their mental health. And that's the thing. You know, I was going through a rough time in my life. I had to pick between paying the gas bill or paying the light bill. You know, and none of you would have knew that. Not even my closest friends know that unless I said something about it, right? So the struggles you go through every day, it's like a little checkpoint in your life. Your first 1 to 20 years of your life, you're learning from the previous generation that's already been there, that's been through the struggle, that's been through the hardships, that's been through all the things that you think you're going through that are 10 times worse. They probably went through 100 times worse. But they're out here teaching you from 1 to 20 of what they experienced. From 20 to 40, inshallah, you're married. Inshallah, you have kids. Inshallah, your job is booming. Inshallah, your life is going great. But you're just living off that little piece of information, that knowledge that they gave you from years 1 to 20. From 40 to 60, now you're teaching the new generation. Now the new generation is watching you. So if we take that into consideration, I don't mean to say 60. Inshallah, everybody lives till 1,000,000. You never know. We never know when our time is to check out. My time to check out could be right now in 2 minutes or 10 seconds, 20. The heart beats. Every time the heart beats, I ask God, God, can I beat? Can I beat again? Can I beat again? Can I beat again? Can I pump more blood into this heart? But there's some people that we take advantage of it. Being in Dearborn, we have a problem with addiction. And I sit and think, I say, why do we have a problem with addiction? Being drugs, marijuana, going out, staying out late. I know there's a lot of us in here that stay out late. And our parents probably don't like it. They sit there and they look at us, well, why are you staying out late? You know, the job of a mother and father is to protect their kids, right? But why are we, I'm talking about the young generation, the youth. Why are we sitting here trying to keep our mom and dad up, wondering where we are at night, wondering where we could have been, what we could have did, or how we did something, or this, that. Let's say you do end up getting into something you don't want to get into. Whose fault is that? You're gonna sit there when you go to jail, you're gonna blame the cop. Oh, yeah, you know, why'd you pull me over out of everybody else? You decided to pull me over. Well, you should have been at home. You should never have been in that situation. You should never tried to get into something you should never wanted to get in the first place. You know, Allah puts people in your life. You know, I heard this a long time ago. Allah's gonna put people in your life that are gonna teach you something or they're gonna take from you. And you know, alhamdulillah, I had a lot of people in my life that came into my life, they took from me. Mentally, physically, spiritually, they kept taking. And then I got to the point where I said, you know what, God, this is not fair. You know, why you keep taking from me? You know, there's 7.7 billion other people in the world. Why are you taking from me? Why you keep taking from me? You keep draining me. What's the point of this? What's the point of me waking up and telling myself, okay, let's put on a game face. Let me put on my smiley face. Let me put on my happy pants, and let me go smile like nothing's wrong. It's okay to not be okay. It is okay to not be okay. Be it male or female, it's okay to not be okay. You're not supposed to have a perfect day every day. If you're supposed to have a perfect day, how come we're all not millionaires? How come we all don't have business and degrees? How come we're all not doctors and lawyers and pharmacists and neuroscientists, or we don't work for NASA? Or how come we haven't been to the moon? Everybody has a purpose in life, and that purpose being waking up, doing what you have to do in order to excel in what you want to excel in, whether school, work, mental health. See, I took the job on helping the youth, talking to the youth, taking my time and trying to help somebody somewhere. Maybe my voice rambled around somebody's head, and just the way I said it, or just the way I pointed at them, or just the way I framed something, it changed their life. You know, that's suicide. Suicide doesn't discriminate. Depression doesn't discriminate. Depression doesn't care if you're a male or female. It doesn't care if you're a billionaire, a millionaire, a trillionaire. It doesn't care if you're the smartest person in the world. It doesn't care if you have every type of material in the universe. It's still going to come knocking. And, you know, people tell me all the time I'm biased when I say something like this. I want everybody to go through a depression. 3 main reasons why. Don't hate me and say, oh, why is this guy wishing depression on me? No. I want everybody to grow from depression, because it's something about being when you're alone with your thoughts 24/7. And even though you're married or have friends or have cousins or go out, you're still alone. You feel alone. You don't feel comforted. That's depression. You sit there, you stay up late, and you're just overthinking this cycle nonstop, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then depression comes knocking and tells you, hey, Yusuf, you're not good enough. Well, why am I not good enough? What did I do? What do you mean I'm not good enough? What did I do? Well, let me go back 10 years into the past when you did something wrong. 10 years? I mean, why are you going 10 years in the past? Or let's go 5 years. But why are you going 5 years in the past? We're right here in the present day. Why do I got to go back there? That's that negative talk. That's, 1, could be the devil. 2, that could be you're allowing it. 3, you don't want to change. Nobody's going to take care of you better than you. Nobody in this world is going to take care of you better than you. Like the brother just said, we're all going to visit a funeral home, being alive or dead. We're all going to get to wash. We're all going to go look at that beautiful earth, being in the soil. You know, I always wanted a Bugatti, but can I take it with me? Nah. I always wanted a 30-story house. Can I take that with me? Nah. What about the most beautiful girl in the world, the most beautiful man in the world I want to get married to? I'm not taking none of those people with me. I'm not taking the money with me. I'm not taking nothing. You're going the same way you came out. The same baby that came out with no clothes and was crying when it came out. You think it's a coincidence when a baby comes out crying? You know, I heard something the other day on Facebook, and it's like one of those videos. I'm going up, and it's talking about why we're crying when we're coming out the mother's womb. It's because we know. Allah instilled that in us. We know it's going to be a painful journey. We know it's going to be a rough time. We know there's going to be a time where we're going to feel alone. We're going to be alone. Not everybody's going to be with you 100% of the time. When you're sitting there talking about your feelings, that little security that we just brought down, and inshallah, everybody's listening to me now, because now I pulled you in the beginning. You guys got motivated. You raised your hand. You shook the person's hand left to right, and you told them everything's going to be okay. How easy is that? Why can't we do that on a day-to-day basis? Make a goal. It doesn't have to be a big, scary goal. It doesn't have to be a big dream. It doesn't have to be none of that. What about just compliment somebody? Feed somebody. Pay for one of your friends out of nowhere. Ask for nothing in return. You know, it kills me. We go on Snapchat or TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, and we're going to help a person that's in need. And we sit there and we're like, well, hey, guys, my name is Yusuf. Look at this $20 bill. Okay, make sure you look at this $20 bill. I'm about to hand it to this man right here. That man's going through a tough time in their life already. Now you just added more pressure on top of what you did. And now the hasanat that you thought you were going to get probably got depleted by 1,000,000 times. Now you're backtracked. Instead of being forward, now you're backtracked. You know? And, you know, I wish people didn't do that. I wish people didn't go to, like, those states or those countries. They go to Africa and they feed a little kid. And then, I mean, that little kid doesn't know what's going on anyway. You got a phone or you got a camera in his face, and he's nervous, doesn't know what's going on, but he's hungry, and you're feeding that person. Now you're making him feel like, oh, well, hey, I don't think I'm worth anything now. It doesn't make sense, does it? Why would I want anybody doing that to me? Take your shoes off, take their shoes, wear them. Feel them, see how comfortable they are. 9 times out of 10, they probably got holes in them. Their socks probably got holes. Their shirts probably got holes. Their pants probably got no underwear, probably got no undergarments, probably got no hygiene products, probably don't got what we have right now. You woke up today with a purpose. You go to sleep with a purpose. You progress on that purpose. You take every chance you can at doing something that you don't think you can do, but you're doing it anyway. I didn't think I'd be back here right now speaking about mental health awareness or speaking about Ramadan or coming from the past that I had. I didn't even think I'd live this long. I'm just keeping facts where facts should be. I didn't expect myself to be here talking to you wonderful people, my brothers and sisters, coming out with open arms. Talk to you guys as one of my older brothers and my older sisters and my younger brothers and my younger sisters. We need to come together as a group, especially in Dearborn. It just kills me that people are going through addiction and they don't say nothing. They take the time to sit alone by themselves, take that pill that they call happy, or smoke that marijuana that makes them happy for that temporary time. It's only 10 minutes to a half hour, you feel good. But when the lights are off and it wears off and the drugs are gone and the marijuana's gone and the people are gone, guess who's left? You. You're back to where you started. So what, are you going to take another pill? You're going to get quicker. You're going to try this. You're going to keep taking more and more and more until you overdose to get to the 6x6 before anybody else? Is that the goal in Dearborn? It's to take as much drugs, as much pain, as much hurt, and not say nothing to nobody, but we want to rush and get our early golden ticket to the 6x6 and forget who we are. That 6x6 is something that woke me up. There's a surah in the Quran that really changed my life. It really, really changed my life, and it hit me different. It hit me so hard that I started believing in it, and I started dreaming about it, and I started understanding it. It's in Surah 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 38. And go down from it. And go down from it. This is, Allah talking to Adam, Nabi Adam. And go down from it. All of you, and when my guidance comes to you from me. Who's me? Me being Allah, right? me being the Lord, the most merciful, the gracious, the beneficent, the amazing, the best of the best, top notch. Nothing tops it. Nothing tops it. You're getting guidance from the best of the best. And you mean to tell me you don't want to take the guidance? We'd rather sit here and inflict pain and more pain and more pain and more pain on us and everybody around us, because I guarantee you there's somebody in the household, where you work, where you go to school, what gym you go to, what library you go to. There's somebody younger than you looking at you without you even knowing, and he's following your footsteps. Oh, okay, this guy made a left turn right here. I'm just going to do this left turn too because he did it, and I feel like he's better than me, so I'll just follow what he's doing. But what about if that left turn is the wrong thing? What about if that left turn for that person and that little kid that was following that man, he went and robbed somebody or took a drug? We got footsteps we got to fill. Being our Ahl al-Bayt, the Imma, we got to follow them. Look at Imam al-Hussein, dying on the battlefield. Dying on the battlefield for a purpose for me and you and everybody around the world that's Shia to be here. To be here. Let that sit with everybody for a second. He laid on the battlefield, bleeding and in pain, hurt. Felt hurt for the people that backstabbed him, for the people that didn't show up to help, for the people that didn't take the initiative to try to do better. And he said, you know what, God, take more. Take more. Keep taking from me. You took my family. Take 10 more generations of my family. You took my companions. Take 10,000 more of them. Take 1,000,000 of them. And at the end of the day, he still said, if this is what you want, my Lord, then I love it. Do you see how big the shoes are we got to fill? We got to fill some shoes that are probably a size 1,000,000, and we're over here size 10, 5, 10, 9, 8, 7, 13, 14, 15. Take into consideration who is by you and who's not, meaning yourself. When you're doing mental checks, a check can be in looking in the mirror, telling yourself, oh, hey, okay, Yusuf, you look good today. You know, the shirt maybe needs to be a little tucked. You know, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. There's nothing we can't do. But that's you. The way you come out every day your house and you go in the car and you turn the key to turn on the car, press the start, whatever it is, to get to your destination, be the best person. Let that person go in front of you in traffic. Why do we got to sit there and be like, oh, no, he took my turn. I'm going to be late now. Well, you should have woken up earlier. Take the victim mentality and turn it to being accountable for everything you do from here on out. I want everybody, please try this. Take yourself out the victim mindset and be accountable for everything you do from here on out, day in and day out. Because you're the only one that owes you something. Nobody else, I don't owe you nothing. You don't owe me nothing. Do you owe me anything? Did you call me before this and tell me you owe me something, I got to give you? No, it doesn't work like that. If you're in debt, take care of your debt. If you're falling in addiction, take care of the addiction. Take it head on. And then it goes in the verse, taking the guidance from me. Whoever follows my guidance, there will be no fear concerning them, nor will they grieve. Wow, right? No fear, no grieve. What do we go through every day? We go through fear, don't we? Always get fear in our mind. Don't do this. They might laugh at you. Don't say this. They might look at you weird. Don't walk this certain way. They're going to judge you. Don't do that. No, don't do that. Let's just walk the way everybody else is walking, because we want to program ourselves the way the environment looks at us. There's one thing about changing your environment, and on this beautiful month, I'm telling you, on this beautiful month, the one thing that I learned is changing my environment when the environment needs to be changed. You're going to lose family. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose the people that you thought are riding with you, the people that are going to take everything for you, people that are going to help you, people that are going to sit there and call you 24/7. How you doing? What's going on? How come you don't call and check up on me? Because we're still human at the end of the day. We get hurt. We get lost. We fall in despair. But then Allah comes around and He pats us on the back and tells us, don't fall in despair. Don't fall into depression. Don't let the devil come and tell you in the middle of the night, hey, Yusuf, it's 4:36 in the morning, and do you remember that thing you did 5 years ago? Yeah, we got to work on that. Yeah, well, let's just keep thinking about it, because, yeah, that's going to make us better, right? By us overthinking of the same problem is going to make us better, right? No, all you're doing is rekindling. Think about a fire, and that thought, whatever it is, whatever that negative thought is, think about it as a fire. You add more logs to it by every time you think about it. Scientifically, mentally, religiously, it's a proven fact. Take the time to diminish that fire. Let Allah do His job and diminish those affairs. Why we trying to play that we got control over our lives? For real. Do you really got control of your life? Or are we just sitting here, we're just looking at life and we're just watching it go by because we want to sit there and just real quick, you're just like, oh, man. Oh, oof, life just hit me. I don't know how to get through this. Why don't you know how to get through it? You got a book, and that book is the holiest book. It's called the Quran. Guidance. Allah talks about guidance. There's your guidance. And then you got the Ahl al-Bayt. And then you got the Imma. Then what else guidance are you looking for? What sign are you looking for? That was my problem. I kept falling into the same loop, calling people. Hey, you know, I feel like, I'm not, I feel like I'm depressed and I'm not here right now. What do you think I should do? What YouTube video should I go watch? Instead of reading the book, what YouTube video should I go watch? Or what what should I type in on Google? How to get past depression, or how to get past the thought, or how to get past this. That's fine. But you have a book. That book is something you're supposed to keep towards your heart and keep it with you. Because when you go in the grave, like the beautiful brother said, that's going to speak for you. All the surahs, all the verses you read are going to protect you. They're going to tell you, don't worry about it, it's okay. Yeah, he may be sinned here and there, but don't worry, protect him on the left side. Yeah, he did so-and-so, but his fasting that he did during the beautiful month of Ramadan will protect his right side. Or the prayers he used to pray will protect his bottom so he doesn't get too squeezed and too uncomfortable in the grave. Nabi Muhammad used to talk about the grave. He used to say it either squeezes you real tight, real tight. Now that's depression too, isn't it? Depression squeezes everything out of you. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to move. You don't want to help nobody. You don't even want to help yourself, let alone yourself. I mean, why are you gonna self-inflict pain on you when we need to level up ourselves inside, outside, our families, our environments? Change your environment. If you're falling to addiction, change your environment. It's the people you're around. They're probably telling you, oh yeah, Yusuf, go ahead. Yusuf, go ahead. Catch this pill real quick. Oh, I got it. Oh man, I feel good. Thanks for an hour. I feel great. But I'm gonna drive home and I'm gonna feel depressed again. But that's because I want to be in that environment. That's because I want to be there. And that's because I self-teaching myself that, yeah, I need this substance so I can get a temporary fix to a solution that I thought would be permanent. But all it took was going to seek help and talk to a therapist or talking to somebody or asking somebody for some help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. If you really think there's something wrong with asking for help, what do we think Imam Hussein did? Didn't he ask for his companions to come help him? Didn't he? Well, he's just going to go over there by himself, take on 30,000, 60,000, 100,000? No, he asked for help. He did what he had to do in order to cover himself to get where he had to go, in order for us to get where we are now. Right now, we're in the now. We're not 10 years back. We're not 20 years in the future. We're not 10 minutes into the future now, being the present. We're right now. Everybody's here right now at 11:04 p.m. We're at the Islamic House of Wisdom. You're not living your future yet. You're not there. And you're not 5 years back when you stole that candy bar. Shame on you for stealing that candy bar. You know, baby, how can you buy 2 candy bars and don't give it to somebody else? Donate it. Ask God for forgiveness. God always has the doors of repentance open. He's not going to shy away from giving you the forgiveness you need or the forgiveness we want. We want somebody to come pat us on our back. Hey, don't worry about it. You were forgiven. Don't worry about it. You're good. No, do a mental check with yourself, between yourself, you and God. Whenever you speak to God, be by yourself. Talk to him. So look, I'm sorry, last point before I get out of here. You know, Allah talks about we put our finger out, right? So Allah grabs our arm. He's an arm's length away. We walk towards God, but Allah's running towards us, telling us, please do the right thing. Take the chance to do this. Take the chance to do this. Take the chance to do this. But we sit there and we let our inner thoughts tell us, no, we're not going to do it because we're nervous. Our heart's pounding. Right now, my heart's pounding, but I'm still on the podium. I didn't think I'd be here right now. I didn't think I'd be speaking to all you beautiful people. But I got the chance to speak to everybody here, and inshallah, I touched somebody somewhere in their heart that rekindles their passion and their fire to do better. And it helps them to go find somebody. Maybe tomorrow they can start progressing in life. And inshallah, when they wake up tomorrow, if we get the chance to, I'm not going to say when we do, if we do, because this is a known fact. You never know. You can't buy health. You can't buy health. Health is the one thing in the world we can't buy. Everything else we can buy. You could buy a pill. You can buy a pill to ease your pain real quick for 5 minutes and then come back to it. You could buy some type of substance that's going to help you out. But why? Why not take care of the problem at the source, take it head on? Allah tells you, if you believe in me, you won't have fear and you won't grieve. We need to believe in that. And when you want forgiveness, you need to believe you've been forgiven. Allah says, as soon as you say, Astaghfirullah Rabbi atubu ilayk, it's wiped, done, move on, we're done. Close the chapter, move on, let it go. The person hurt you, let him go or let her go. A person stole from you, let it go. Go get something else. That's the thing that happens when we fall into hardship, we fall in these bad times and these rough times. Oh God, poor me, why did this happen to me? It's just me. But again, there's 7.7 billion people out here. And you saw the people that raised their hands that showed you that they went through a hardship or in a hardship or about to be in a hardship. We either go into a storm or we're in a storm or we just left one getting ready to get back into another one. Keep that in mind. Nobody is safe from the test of God. Nobody. On the last day, when all the kings are getting in their palace, they're all gone. The mountains that are so big and tall, they're all gone. The water that used to be so vast and large is dried up. There's no more earth. Allah says, where are you? Where are the kings that used to claim that they're me? And that they can outlive me and they can outrun me and they can outdo what I can do. Keep this in mind, please. As if anybody's pressuring you to do something that you don't even want to do in the first place, you're just involved in it because it's one of your friends or you're in an environment of doing it, walk away. Walk away from it. Somebody you don't like, forgive them and walk away. You look like a bigger man from walking away from the problem than doing the problem. Or you're just going to end up on Instagram news. Hey, look at this guy. You know, this guy went and shot and killed this guy because he owed him $10. Come on. We got to do better as a community. We got to do better as brothers and sisters. We need to bring the name of Islam. That when people type in on Google, what is Islam? It's peace. It's not the negative stuff people see. People see Islam, they look at it, they say, oh, these guys are terrorists. These guys, all they want to do is preach the Quran. And then they don't even know what the Quran is. Why not us being the ones that have faith, the ones that are believers, preach the Quran through actions, through words, through knowledgeability, through helping, through guidance. Allah already gave us guidance, and that's the Quran. Please take the chance, read the Quran, read something, and maybe it's going to hit you like it hit me. A single verse hit me and changed my life. Thank you, everybody, for taking the chance and the time to listening to me. Like I said before, I hope it hits someone somewhere. I hope it changes somebody somewhere. I hope tomorrow you wake up, shake that person's hand you never thought you can shake. I hope you forgive yourself for what you did. I hope you forgive that person for how much harm they harmed you. I hope you forgive somebody in general. That way you could move on, get better, get stronger, get motivated, get ready for the next day and the next day, because it's a day-by-day thing. It's not a 5-day process. It's a day-by-day thing. Thank you very much, and please, sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Can we get another loud salawat for Brother Yusuf, please? I've met Brother Yusuf all of 2 times, and like he said, he keeps the facts where the facts should be. I hope everyone benefited from his speech, as well as the other beautiful young brothers and what they had to bring to the table today. Before we leave, a few reminders. Inshallah, we see you guys tomorrow, the following night, as well as Jum'ah for our Jum'ah prayer, as well as Eid prayer. Before we end the program tonight, we have Dua al-Hujjah. I want everyone to stand up, face the Qibla. Before Dua, of course.
I really feel so honored and so humbled. I missed the presentation of Brother Rayan Asi, but I promise I'm going to listen to it after this because it's already on the Facebook. So proud to have leaders, young leaders like Rayan, like Sheikh Muhammad and Yusuf Beydoun in our community. We are grateful to God. These are gifts you are gifts. And, for tomorrow night, I know Brother Hassan is going to be one of our speakers for tomorrow night. I was thinking that include myself in service of tomorrow night, but if you guys, you brothers, would like to continue your talk, I give you my time. Tomorrow is the last night. Thursday night, no lecture. It's just Dua Kumail and going through observation of night of Eid and day of Eid. We just explain some of the things that are mustahab to do. Laylatul Eid and Yawmul Eid. So Sheikh Muhammad, you talked about akhlaq and hospitality of Ahlul Bayt. And Brother Yusuf about accountability and responsibility. Really, that is definition of human being. If you want to define what is human being, al-insan, man al-insan? Al-insan هو المخلوق المسؤول. That human being is a responsible being. So without accountability, without responsibility, no humanity. That is one. And regarding the hospitality, that is what we learn from all the messengers. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that I came to complete the covenant of akhlaq and morality. That means Abraham, Moses, Jesus, all of them were about correcting human character, and Prophet Muhammad was the last messenger and the last university, the last message about morality. And I know that we have a very special gift, Reverend David Cosbo, coming from Federation family, a huge church in the United States that they have branches in many, many states. And when I see Brother David, Pastor David, I see in this man all the observation, all the lessons that we learn tonight from our young leaders. Anytime I think about David, Pastor David, I think about humbleness, about hospitality, about love, about responsibility. Being a pastor, a leader of a church, joining us the month of Ramadan, coming even in every fundraising that House of Wisdom holds every 6 months. This man attends, participates, and supports financially. So we are very honored to have you, Reverend David, with us. And we send our prayer to the founder of your church, Reverend Moon, that he was the founder of Family Federation Church. And I remember the first time I came to this country, in 1990, that is how many years? 33 years now, right? 33 or 32 years, right? 32 years ago. First from Tehran to Istanbul, Frankfurt, San Francisco. And 1 month in that beautiful Hyatt Regency Hotel, Assembly of the World Religions. That was the first experience of me coming to this country. And I learned the importance of interfaith. And this is one of the vision and missions of House of Wisdom, interfaith, outreach with other communities of faith. And this is the connection that lasted for 32 years. We thank you, David, for being with us tonight. We thank you, brothers and sisters. Again, thank you, our young speakers and our leaders. You know, Yusuf, you were supposed to talk for 10 minutes, but believe me, if you had talked even for 10 hours, I wouldn't be tired. You know, the way that looks like no limitation. You touch every subject, every manners, and alhamdulillah, this is a blessing. This is a gift that you have like an ocean of experience and information, and very touching, very moving. And of course, Sheikh Muhammad and Brother Rayan, that I promised to listen to his lecture. The reason I was late, I was dealing with a divorce situation, not for myself, of course, but there was 2 doctors. You know, just Yusuf mentioned that it's not about your palace, it's not about your, you know, proficiency. It's not about your pleasure in the world. You might be doctor and millionaire and trillionaire. We don't have trillionaire in the world, but we have billionaire so far. I don't know if the Saudis now, they are getting to trillionaire or not, but at least we have billionaires, so many billionaires. But doesn't matter. I was dealing with the situation that their life is like nar jahannam. Both doctors, both professional, both have money, both have all the opportunities, but lacking something, lacking the discussion that we had tonight here in this gathering. And inshallah, we continue this, that family matters, morality matters, kindness and compassion matters, accountability and responsibility matter. And of course, our youth and their education and their faith and their purification and their future and their children and family, all this matter, and we need to continue focus on that. So saying that, inshallah, we'll see you everyone tomorrow at 10 o'clock, be on time. That is the last night of this Ramadan. We used to be full, but after nice power, looks like everybody think that we are done with Ramadan. But no, actually Ramadan should start now. Ramadan should start after Ramadan, that we continue to apply the lessons that we learn from Ramadan, how to fast from gossiping, how to fast from greed, how to fast from violence, how to fast from racism, how to fast from warmongering. All of this, Ramadan is needed even after Ramadan. Now, let us do the final dua. Whoever, Ahsan, you want to say dua al-hujjah? بعد الصلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Brothers and sisters, we'll see you inside the Mahdi Hall for refreshments. And as Imam said, tomorrow 10 p.m. sharp, we will start our program. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.